Imagine my shock when I went through the personality journey, came to meetings, and discovered that most people in a room have different values and preferences than me, and that they're judging me based on their preferences. As someone who leads with green and likes to know and understand others but hates rejection, this was a terrible realization. Something about my engaging meetings was going to have to change to make room for all the other kinds of people and preferences. In fact, everything about the way I did meetings had to change, as I was often slow to start the meeting, usually didn't have an agenda, asked very engaging questions for which people were unprepared, and often went later than the time allotted to meet because I wanted a decision. I had so much room for improvement. My meetings could be tolerated by some, but were a discouragement to the very people I wanted to engage. Change is tough, but I love people more than my way of doing meetings. I was ready to learn a better way. Whether it's the preparation you do going into the meeting, the actual facilitation of the meeting, the conclusion, or the follow-up, you can make everyone on your team feel valued by taking into account their different preferences. I've provided a little handout that might help you make sure that your meetings are really in color. It's helped me tremendously to move past my preferences to take the different colors on my team into account. Let's look at the different preferences your meetings might have. When someone comes into a meeting with strong blue preferences, they're wondering, am I prepared? And are we prepared for this meeting? If not, why are we doing it? They might think. Things like sending an agenda in advance, determining the appropriate meeting style, having all the right people in the room, and giving enough review time are important to the blue energy at your table. Starting on time, reviewing the objectives, and having a timekeeper and scribe can also be important. These are great ways to ask those with blue energy to help you because they value efficiency, and they can get angry when people waste time. Some questions they may ask at the end of a meeting include, did we have the information we needed for the decisions we needed to make? And do we have enough time to process the information provided in the meeting, or do we need to follow up and then send out the minutes to the meeting? By including these elements in your preparation, implementation, and follow-up, you will ensure the blue energy on your team think it was a great meeting. Remember, those who lead with green, like I do, are highly relational. They're gonna feel bad if everyone was not heard, if people were cut off, if the climate of the meeting was not conducive to full participation. Being considerate of everyone at the table, and if someone is interrupted, handling it so that the person interrupted doesn't feel offended or silenced, is important to the green energy at the table. Giving opportunity for post-meeting reflections and sharing those things that weren't resolved may also be important to consider for those with green energy to feel the meeting was meaningful. For folks who lead with red energy, they desire a meeting with focused decision-making. Questions to ask. Did we make the agenda as short as possible so that we achieve the outcomes that we were seeking and facilitating? Did we stay on task, or did we meander all around? Did we conclude the meeting on time, and did we make decisions? And are there actions to be taken, and is everyone agreed on the time frame? And did we quickly follow up the meeting? Was there a reason we couldn't end early? The red energy at your table will appreciate meetings that are short but initiate action. And finally, for those who lead with yellow energy, some good questions to ask are, was everyone engaged and in flow? Was there flexibility in the agenda so that connection and conversation could come up so we know how everyone's weekend was? Was there enough engagement, or was this a lecture without participation? And where follow-up on input is required, does everyone have the inspiration coming out of the meeting for the work to be done? The yellow energy at your table will appreciate a meeting that is inclusive and positive. Wow, that might sound like a lot of work, but the reality is thinking ahead is easier than damage control. Truly wholehearted meetings engage everyone on the team and allow for the smaller missteps to be non-issues when the greater individual needs of the members of your team are met. People appreciate being valued, which then removes some of the negative energy meetings can create. An easy way to end any meeting can be a simple question to help you learn if your team's needs were met. How did each of you experience the meeting? Could you give me 2 or 3 words, preferably feeling words, as they give me the information about how I'm doing? Feelings are a way everyone processes their values. As they share, I thank them for their transparency and ask them for their patience with my growth. This is not a time to get defensive, but to listen. As I've sought to engage every preference in our company's meeting, they've become so much more colorful. People feel valued, and that makes them more effective in their roles. And so I want to encourage you that it's worth the extra effort.